René Girard, the man who tried to escape imitation but got caught in it. René Girard was one of the most influential thinkers of the 20th century, but his own life reveals how even the greatest theorists cannot escape the very ideas they propose. Initially, Girard was not a renowned philosopher, he was a historian and literary critic. Born in France, his intellectual journey took him to the United States, where he developed one of the most groundbreaking theories of modern times, mimetic desire. His revelation came while studying classic literature: Dostoevsky, Proust, Cervantes. He noticed a recurring pattern: characters didn't desire things independently. Instead, they desired what others desired before them. Desire, he realized, is never original, it is always imitated. This discovery transformed him from a literature professor into a leading intellectual figure. But here's the irony: Girard himself fell into the very cycle he described. When he first introduced his theory, the academic world dismissed it. Some even mocked him. But instead of backing down, he engaged in a battle for recognition. Why? Because now he, too, was caught in the loop of mimetic desire. He wanted validation. He wanted his theory to be accepted. He wanted to be seen not so different from the very subjects of his own research. Girard argued that mimetic desire leads to competition, rivalry, and ultimately, violence. He saw this pattern in history, literature, and even religion. Societies, he claimed, prevent self-destruction by directing collective aggression toward a scapegoat, someone who absorbs all the tension so that peace can be restored. But Girard wasn't just an observer of this theory, he became part of the very phenomenon he described. Like the heroes of Dostoevsky's novels, he started as an ordinary thinker and became obsessed with uncovering absolute truth only to find himself entangled in the same system he sought to expose. So in the end, Girard was not just a theorist of imitation, he was also a participant. His theory was not only about others but about himself. And that might be the most profound irony of his intellectual journey. Why do we always look for a scapegoat? René Girard's strange theory. Throughout history, whenever crises intensify, people look for someone to blame. Sometimes it's an individual, sometimes it's a group, a minority, or even an idea. But why do we do this? Is it simply a human trait, or is there a deeper pattern behind it? René Girard, the French philosopher and literary critic, proposed a theory that could explain this behavior. He argued that the root of many social problems, competition, and even violence lies in mimetic desire. Girard claimed that humans don't inherently know what to desire. As a result, we unconsciously look at others and take on their desires. This leads to constant imitation among individuals in society, which eventually breeds competition. However, the problem is that these competitions create tension. Two people wanting the same thing become enemies. This pattern, when it happens on a social scale, can lead to a crisis. This is when Girard introduces the concept of the scapegoat mechanism. He argues that societies, in order to escape this chaos, choose an individual or group to be the scapegoat. This person, who is not necessarily guilty, bears the anger and hatred of the community. Scapegoating in history and culture. Examples of this mechanism are countless in history. From the witches of the Middle Ages, who were blamed for all problems, to minorities who have been blamed for economic hardships throughout different periods. We even see it in our daily lives. In the workplace, in politics, and in the media. When problems arise, our first reaction is often to find someone to blame. Girard shows that the scapegoat mechanism not only calms the society, but it also gives them a temporary sense of unity. When people have a common enemy, they forget their differences. But the problem is that this unity is temporary. Soon enough, a new crisis arises, and the cycle of scapegoating begins again. Why is this theory still important? In today's world, social media has made this mechanism work even more intensely. It only takes one mistake from someone, and suddenly a public outcry forms against them. Girard said that modern societies think they have moved beyond this cycle, but in reality, they continue to repeat it in new forms. If we want to break free from this cycle, we must be aware of how our desires are influenced by others. We must understand that constantly looking for someone to blame is not a real solution to problems, it's just a temporary fix. Now think, in your own life, how many times have you been caught in this mechanism? How many times have you seen society choose a scapegoat to preserve its peace? Can we escape this cycle?